Alrighty, here we go again. We've done head, torso, pelvis, and legs, including feet. We did feet. If anybody needs me to go into more detail on any of those little things, please don't hesitate to send me a message, an email, what have you. I'll answer any questions to the best of my ability. I am not the best artist, don't think I am. But I'm okay, I guess. I'd like to think I'm an okay artist. So, anything that I can do to help you, I will. So, next we're going to move on to arms. and your elbow comes just above your waist. If somebody's bent very far, they're leaning to one side or the other. Oh. But if they're leaning too far to one side or the other, their elbows will, go to their waist, farther than their waist, etc. Up above, Plus, it also depends on where the arm is, if it's backed up behind the head, etc. With your arms up, and your shoulders here and your elbows going like this, they will hit about just the top of your head. If you move your hands up above your head and hold them up there, you will feel that your elbow curves quite pleasantly around the top of your head. That's not coincidence. It's there for a reason, I'm sure. So, that's one thing to remember. If your arms are bent, or if they're straight or whatever, your elbow will hit above your waist. Depending on how long or short your arms are, this can vary a little bit, but it won't vary too very much. I said vary how many times? So we're going to draw the top part of the arm. Again, we're going to use a cylinder, ovalish, rectangular shape. And since she's kind of leaning a little bit, her arm will probably be around her waist. Men and women, your waist, a lot of people draw waists very low or very long. A lot of people will have a long waist, but when you actually draw them, you will probably, if it comes out more correctly, I suppose, to human anatomy, you will notice that it's a lot shorter than what you think it would be. That's only a head or so down, maybe a little over. And like I said, proportions vary from different people, so it all depends on your tastes, your style. Run and a half is very, very different from model. If anybody knows what manga model is, kudos to you. I think everybody knows what Ranma half is. Done by Rumiko Takahashi, same person who does Inuyasha, so if you don't know, look into it. It's a very good series, it's very funny. Very long, just like Inuyasha. So, next we're going to do the arm. And the thing is that your shoulder, it's a separate bump. Your neck comes down, and then you have this muscle right here, and then your shoulder. So it's literally two different bumps. If you're doing a masculine man, you would probably emphasize that. If you look at things like Dragon Ball Z, etc., you will see that in a lot of it. Very, very defined musculature, to put it politely. And then you have another muscle here. And if the arm is up, this muscle will become more prominent right here, because it's pulling your arm up. That's what pulls your elbow up, and that's what pulls your arm up. And, that's just a thing to remember. You don't have to have, Popeye the Sailor Guy, man, muscles, crazy going on. You don't have to do that. But just keep in mind, it will be a little more prominent like that, and that will keep your art looking a little more realistic. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. There are a lot of manga that don't. There are a lot of artists that don't. It's just, you know, a little thing I like to put in there that kind of gives it that little, you know. But that's my style. That's not your style. So, you don't want to do it. That's totally awesome. Next, we're going to do the rest of the arm, which is longer than this, which is probably from shoulder to elbow about a head, which, you know, if I measure, yeah, that's pretty much a head. So this should be a head, you know, just about, and your wrist will come to about your hip line, no matter who you are. You know, this is your crotch line, this is your hip line, this is your waistline. Everybody's seen those lines in those How to Draw Manga books if you've read them. So, yeah, and remember that your arm comes out here and a little bit here, because just like with the leg, it's like a miniature leg, really it is. Your shoulder is the biggest joint, your elbow is the next biggest joint, and then your wrist is the smallest joint. And it goes in, out, just like here. It's kind of goes in for the hip, well, not really, but I guess if you look at if somebody's leg is bent a specific way, you can see the in joint, but it goes out, and then in, and then out, and then in again for the leg. So, and that really doesn't change too much. You can turn your arm, but it doesn't really, you know, especially your up arm doesn't move very much. Just something to remember. I can't see it because of the glare on the screen. So that's something to remember. And now for hand, we're just going to draw in the shape of a hand. A lot of people will quote unquote mess up on hands. I will probably make the next video will be just over hands, because hands are really very difficult. They really are. They're difficult to explain, they're difficult to pose, they are the most difficult thing to draw on the human body besides the face. I think the face is hard. But manga and anime, they really simplify it for you, so if you're drawing this style, you get the long end of the stick because you're really lucky. So it's horrible trying to draw a realistic hand, because you've got your knuckles, you've got, if it's clenched, you've got the veins, you've got the muscles that go along here, the bones. It's ridiculous. And then if you're doing this side, I mean, holy crap, look at all that. You've got creases, you've got, you know, musculature you have to worry about. There's a whole bunch of things that can go wrong if you don't practice, and that's what a lot of people don't do. So we're just going to put the shape of the hand for now. And like I said, that comes to from about up here to mid-thigh, probably no longer than that. Seen people with gorilla arms, monkey arms. I'm sorry. I used to do it too. You've also seen, or you've probably also drawn the people with arms up to the waist, which, you know, or sometimes you get these proportions wrong and the elbow's up here while the rest of the arm is fine down here. Well, this is long, obviously, but everybody's seen them. Gonna put the other arm in really quick. Just gonna have this person be kind of laid back and maybe pull the arm out a little bit. Maybe holding something. Well, I'm running out of time, so this person's arm is going to be facing the other direction, so this is going to be the smoother part because it's the back, and this is going to be the inner part. I'm going to put the wrist right there. Just going to kind of overly, yeah, that's about right. You know, always measure. Can't stress that enough. Always, always, always measure. So, I'll be back in the next video and we will talk about hands. Aren't you excited?